My dear brothers and sisters, we are talking about effects of prayer. The prayer make you fearless. Prayer gives you an experience of inner peace, inner joy, inner tranquility. Today we are going to talk about that joy of the living is prayer. Prayer is nothing but the joy of the living in the company of God. When you encounter God, we encounter joy. Encountering God is encountering joy. On the Easter morning, when Mary Magdalene, she was in a depressed mood, she was sad, she was crying. She went to the tomb to anoint Jesus, and she was crying. When she encountered Jesus, and Jesus called her Mary, and she shouted, Rabboni. That was the time when she was filled with real joy, and she went running to tell the disciples that he is risen. This is the joy of being in the company of God. So when you are in the company of God, you really experience joy. The two disciples on the way to Emmaus, they also were depressed. They're going back to their old tread. And then when Jesus walks with them, and they invited Jesus into their homes, Jesus goes with them, dines with them, and at the end when Jesus left, they were discussing, weren't our hearts burning with fire? So that was the fire of real inner joy, inner peace, inner happiness. On the Sea of Tiberias, Peter and the other disciples, they were casting the nets. They had they toiled the whole night, but they caught nothing. They were tired. Jesus appears them and tells them, cast the net to the right and you'll get something. They listen to him. Here we have a carpenter's son. Jesus was a carpenter's son, and Peter was a fisherman's son. A carpenter's son telling a fisherman how to catch fish. But he listens because he knew that whatever Jesus told would be right. And then when he casts the net, he gets a shoal of fish, and he is so overjoyed that he jumps into the sea. So encounter with joy gives you, encounter with God gives you real joy of living. So joy comes from being with the Lord. That is prayer. Prayer is being with the Lord. So when you are with the Lord, you encounter God, you are filled with joy. But Jesus says the real joy comes from obeying the Lord. When you are in the company of Lord, you will obey Lord. You listen to His words. Jesus said, I love my Father and I obey His commandments. If you love me, you obey my commandments, and then your joy only will be full. Joy will be full only when you obey the commandments. You break the commandments, you will not experience joy. You say everybody wants to be happy in life. Everybody wants joy. Everyone wants the joy of living. In the book of Nehemiah, it is said that the joy of the Lord is my strength. St. Paul says that rejoice in the Lord always. All wants rejoicing, all wants joy. But real joy comes from obeying the commandments of God. The 10 commandments. When you obey the commandments, only you will experience joy. Like one commandment, for example, the 6th commandment, 9th and 10th commandment, these commandments you take and see. What is given there? Thou shalt not covet adultery. Thou shalt not covet others' wife, others' husband. Thou shalt not covet others' property. And now you see that people jumping from pleasure to pleasure. They're changing the partner, they're jumping from partners to partners. They're not faithful in their marital life. They have not one husband, one at a time husband, or not one wife, but one at a time of wife. And then they really don't have the real joy of living. You cannot be happy, you cannot be joyful when you are not faithful to your wife, when you are not faithful to your husband, when you are not faithful to each other. So obeying the commandments of God will only give you inner joy, inner peace, inner happiness. We prayed that this Lent, you may be in really communion with God, that encountering God. And that communion with God may fill you with real joy. God bless you, one and all.
Though like the wanderer, the sun gone down, darkness be over me, my rest a star. dreams I'd be